So long, my friends, I'll see you again. It pains me to be here without Lynn. My time has come, mine so cumbersome, filled with whiskey, filled with sin, trampled down, this storm surround. Time to leave this broken town. So long, my folks, how the story goes. I can't look back from moving on. I'll take my time saying my goodbyes. I'm reminded of the times my father cried. I flew just like a bottle gracefully to the dirt beneath, trampled down, this storm's around. It's time to leave. It's time to leave this broken town. I'll take this road, however far it goes, and I'll drown my woes in every bar it holds. This bitter end left a bitter man. My sweetness left last summer's end. I flew just like a bottle gracefully to the dirt beneath, trampled down, this storm surround. Time to leave this broken town, trampled down, this storm surround. Time to leave. Time to leave. Time to leave this broken town. Time to leave this broken town. Time to leave this broken town. My heart, pumping all day long, getting me to morning when darkness comes. My heart, ooh. It takes so long to mend. It's harder to lean on this shell of a man. You found love in the Lord, your family and your friends. Could you please pray for me that I can find the same within? My is always at my back. My back is always strapped with these things that I call my own. Life, it isn't always grand, but when you finally take that stand, you become a man. You needed to You meant everything to me. Why you left, I could not see. I guess people just do what they want. Time, it goes faster every day, and my heart, it leads the way, while the future, it fades into a memory. Is always at my back. My back is always strapped with these things that I call my own.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and false
news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think, and this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
As the world watches and listens in horror, the peaceful pro-democracy demonstration in China comes to a violent and bloody end.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Wolves hiding nearby, whispering do or die around me. You say your last good night while I get
There is another very important phase of warfare. It has as its target not the body, but the mind of the enemy.
The target of psychological warfare is against the enemy's mind.
It is words and ideas.
The ammunition used by Cywar.
Its mission is to influence the thoughts of the enemy soldier, and at the same time
is expected and encouraged to study foreign languages and the social sciences such as history, economics, and sociology. He must have a broad and sympathetic understanding of all phases of human experience.
Gripping at my skin, the walls of night closing.
But the use of this force as an integral part of combat has now taken on new form.
As I wait to say my last goodbye.
These are the Psy-War soldiers.
Right. Welcome to Caught Up. Another episode on Friday. It's another good show. Lots to carry on with. I don't know if you guys have paid attention to what was going on with the Russia Hoax 2.0, but we're going to get into a little bit of that this evening. Got some content from Badlands Media on the Devolution Power Hour on Wednesday. A little bit of John and Just Human and Burning Bright go into pretty good detail about just exactly what went down with this indictment that came from the Department of Justice. So you'll be interested to know. Before we do, let me say my introduction as I always do. Caught Up is an echo chamber for content creators. Almost all content on this show, Caught Up, is created by citizen journalists. I share content created by citizen journalists who I believe to be the best at finding facts buried deep into the abyss, or outlets who I believe to be the best for verifiable information. We have to operate within their system, and we only have the information that they allow us to have. These individuals who nerd out on fact-finding missions and add their opinions to better inform me, to make the best choice for me in this war of narratives, is Resolute. This information war is a battle for your mind and ultimately compliance, and I'm excited to share the content in hopes you'll turn off mainstream media, because I believe it's just another version of entertainment. So again, welcome to Caught Up. Smash the like button, share, follow, whatever makes Rebel happy. That's what you ought to do, because I just get on here to run my mouth, and hopefully somebody watches and decides to share it, or goes back and talks about what they saw, or the content that they saw on the show. They decide to go look for themselves and follow or see or investigate the very people that I'm getting the information from, and go that direction, because that's what gets exciting. And when you start to learn how to navigate through this narrative war, this info war, this psychop, or psyop, or red flag, or coup, or whatever word you want to label it on, that's going on within this country, is awesome. You can read the tea leaves, so to speak, or around the bullshit that they put out there on television, in the newspapers, and everything else that goes along with that. So interesting though, because Merrick Garland is not very favorable. As a matter of fact, there's not very many Biden administration people that are liked or thought of in a way that you would want them to come and run your personal business, right? That's how you got to look at it, right? So if we know what we've had for the last 3+ years. If you had to hire somebody out of that administration to help you run your business, would you? I don't think so. I know I ain't. No, I'm not. I gotta make sure my volume's working. Otherwise, I'm just doing lip service. No, I'm not. And so, I'm not hiring none of these clowns. None of these guys, you know. Yeah, I mean, remember the one guy that, he dressed up like a woman and then he would take flights and steal people's luggage? That dude's straight out of Hunger Games. I swear I saw him in at least 2 or 3 of the movies, man. Yep, that dude. They, they prosecuted him. I'm not sure if they convicted him. I haven't done any research on it. I just know. What about the guy that's over, what is it, the Department of Education? Oh. She? He? Would you let that individual run your business or your family? How about your checkbook? Probably not. I know I'm not. I know I'm not. What about Lloyd Austin? You remember, was it 3 years ago? That dude looked like something out of Darth Vader. He had a mask on, and then it looked like what he had was a steel mask over the other mask, and then he had like his face shield, you know? Again, somebody right out of the Hunger Games, man. We have seen this movie. We know how it all ends. There's some pain, but in the end, we win, right? It's like the gnomes, right? The ones, South Park. Right, South Park. They steal the pants. Profit. If you don't understand, you're just gonna have to go look it up for yourself. It's basically how this government runs, right? I mean, it's just just messed up. So anyway, Kamala Harris is leading in the polls. You know, they're gonna find a way to steal the election. I mean, they're throwing everything and the kitchen sink out there. It's football season, so why not? You know, they're like down. You know, it's like 42-15 or 14 or something like that, and they're just throwing everything. You know, they done removed Joe and put in Kamala, and all these other cast of characters. You know, you got Tim Walz who's playing running back, except he ain't going nowhere. Except backwards. And all these X, Y, and Z players, and they're just doing whatever they can to try to destroy the public opinion of the people and our vote, right? So, what it is. Okay, let's get into this right here. Okay, so this is part of the indictment that was put out. It talks about a production company, a U.S. company, One, provided for 4 weekly videos to be hosted by Commentator One and live streamed by U.S. Company One in exchange for a monthly fee of $400,000 plus a $100,000 signing bonus and an additional performance bonus. An additional. Commentator One's production company agreed that any and all content created under this agreement shall be property of the U.S. Company One, and you can read what's left of it there. It's kind of a little bit, probably a little boring. And then look here. You got the 2 Russian people here. I know the one is Kalishnikov. I'm not sure how you pronounce the other one, but they're founder 1 and founder 2, and also work together to deceive 2 U.S. online commentators, Commentator 1 and Commentator 2, who respectively have 2.4 million and 1.3 million YouTube subscribers Founder 1 and Founder 2 contracted with Commentator 1 and Commentator 2 to provide videos using these two platforms. It's not just these two, ladies and gentlemen. There's a few more, but these are some names of what they're trying to associate with is MAGA. And these gentlemen are not MAGA at all. They are Con Inc. Yeah, they're DeSantis simps. Yep. Those characters right there. So, while they're not being accused of any crime at the moment, they are certainly being exposed for being involved in something to try to make the Republican Party or the MAGA to MAGA look bad. But I can tell you, these guys are not MAGA. Then you got this. You got the Department of Justice set up, right? Biden, Harris, Department of Justice indictment reveals conservative pundits targeted by Russian influence company, including Tim Pool, Benny Johnson, Taylor Hanson, Dave Rubin, and there's another one in there. The real threat to America's future isn't coming from Moscow, it's coming from Washington, D.C., and yet another desperate attempt to distract the American public from the disastrous failures of the Biden administration. The White House plans to accuse Russia of interfering in the 2024 U.S. presidential election. According to sources cited by the far-left news media outlet CNN, the regime will make a series of moves on Wednesday to allegedly address Russia's so-called disinformation campaign. This tired and predictable tactic from the Biden regime follows a well-worn playbook. When things are falling apart at home, you blame foreign interference. Hypocrisy alert. Biden regime accuses Russia of 24 election interference using Kremlin-run media while U.S. fake news media pushes misinformation to sway voters. Now, when you read the indictment and when we get into the video, the content from Badland Media, you're going to find out that these individuals that they're talking about are not being accused of interfering with the election. I really think they're being accused of knowingly taking money and without doing the research to find out exactly where it's coming from. So even Gateway Pundit tries to spin a narrative a little bit, don't they? And I'm okay with that. And it says look there, I got that twice in here. Can't have that, can we? Okay. Department of Justice disrupts suspected Russian bot farm. The Department of Justice disrupted a suspected Russian bot farm, seizing 2 internet domains while hundreds of social media accounts were shut down. I don't know. I never had anything shut down. Of course, I don't follow any of the people that they were talking about because none of those guys got censored. They were all allowed to survive through COVID and the 2020 election and all that by following the same narrative as all the politicians out there talking about, whether they were Democrat or Republicans. It was the fairest, freest election ever recorded in history. And so therefore those guys, the Tim Pools, the Benny Johnsons, the Dave Rubins, the Alex Joneses and others, where they chose to follow the narrative instead of speaking the truth, and so they were allowed to survive and continue to carry on making lots and lots of money. And look, man, they got suckered right by all this stuff. This is absolutely real. This is true. These people did this. There are these companies, and they have ties to Russia. I don't know that they have ties to Putin. You know, the U.S. government would like to make us believe that that's what it is. But we have to remember what happened to these media outlets, these social media, these content creators, these naive people, all in the count of money. This country does the same thing to other countries just the same way. Back when Putin got elected again, I'm pretty sure the regime in charge and CIA and FBI, whoever else, man, they're out there playing the same game. They probably got shell companies in Russia and everywhere else doing the same damn thing, right? They're all guilty of it equally. It says the Department of Justice recently seized control of 2 internet domains and searched 968 accounts on social media platform X, which it accused of helping spread disinformation from the Russian government, for the Russian government. The seizures were part of an FBI investigation into an alleged artificial intelligence enhanced social media bot farm that was created hundreds of fake social media profiles purportedly of U.S. residents, according to the June 27th search warrant affidavit. The affidavit says the accounts promoted messages that support Russian government objectives. Federal investigators allege that the Russian actors bought the U.S.-based domain mlrtr.com and looks like otanamail.com, then used them to create email accounts to register the 968 accounts on X. Of course they did. The search warrant affidavit flagged a November 23rd post by one alleged bot account, which posted a video claiming that the number of foreign fighters who had volunteered to fight alongside Ukrainian forces was significantly lower than public estimates. The affidavit stated that in the same account created another post 9 days later claiming that the war in Ukraine is not a territorial conflict or a matter of geopolitical balance, but rather the principles on which the New World Order will be based. What part of that conversation or statement there has anything to do with election interference, ladies and gentlemen? The Epoch Times reached out for additional details about the activity of the suspected bot accounts, but the Justice Department did not respond by press time. The department cited federal anti-money laundering and sanctions laws to justify their seizure of the 2 internet domain and search the suspected social media accounts. Nothing about election interference. It's about money laundering. It's about lying. It's about creating fake garbage, right? I mean, I can't imagine buying a company the lengths at what they will go to cheat and infiltrate individuals at will. That's why it's very important, ladies and gentlemen, when we go looking for the right outlet and agencies and independent sources and people and this, that, and the other, that when we cite them, better hope that they got their facts straight too, right? And because we can only operate in what they allow us to have, sometimes that's pretty hard. So these individuals that are involved in this, they've all come out publicly and said, At least I think all of them have. You can go on Twitter and look, you'll see. They were suckered into that. They didn't realize they were working for or being paid by Russia, right? How interesting. And it's an election time, right? They're just trying to, like a smoke screen, they're trying to, whatever it takes, the kitchen sink. I mean, if you have to work this hard, it's cheap. Man. Let's see what the Badlanders got to say. Them guys pretty good. All I can say.
They're not making. They are accusing Russia of having basically. Okay, here's the story from the indictment. There's these two Russians who basically created a fake financer to sponsor this media channel, and in the media channel, based on public reporting and even admissions from some influencers that were on this media channel, it was Tenant Media. Okay, and I'll show you guys it's this one right here. Okay, so Tenant Media was founded by Lauren Chen and her husband. Lauren Chen is a Canadian, I believe. I don't even know her husband's name. I'm pretty sure
Liam Donovan.
Okay, I'm pretty sure she's fairly anti-Trump.
Yeah.
I did a. I'm pretty sure I've seen some posts. I was doing some digging earlier.
Recently, she's been very critical of Trump, but she was known as a pro-Trump influencer. Yeah,
Yes,
they're on the conservative side. Yeah, they're all.
And in this group is Lauren Southern, Tim Pool, Taylor Hansen, Matt Christensen, Dave Rubin, Benny Johnson.
I should say Dave Rubin left in June, reportedly.
Yep, and I think Benny Johnson. I mean, I think I see a video now and then on Tenant's YouTube channel. But they essentially started this media group, and with the funding from Russia, and I'm not even 100% sure if Lauren Chen knew they were Russian. I mean,
they did.
With some of the emails back and forth based on our friends in Moscow, what time is it in Moscow, all that stuff. They clearly knew, but I don't know if she knew it was RT or not. What was that specified in there?
No, I don't think that's clear that they knew it was RT. They did know it was Russians.
Okay. So that they were this Russian entity was funding Tenant Media, and they created a fake businessman, like a profile of this guy, to as the funder. Because some of these people these influencers that were in the group were asking okay, well, where am I going to get this? Who's funding this project? And so they created this one pager of a guy, and I can even show it in here. This is what they created.
I will say the founders of Tenant Media did know that the defendants worked for RT.
They did.
So they knew because they met them at RT because they were working for RT as well. So then they formed this U.S. operation.
That's right.
And
Lauren
they
Chen
have
in
a
2021
private investor who is.
They did, yeah, right. They didn't know that an entity. The claim by the DOJ is that RT, on behalf of the Russian government, because they literally say the Kremlin, was funding Tenant Media, and it appeared that's the claim by the DOJ, and it appears that the way that this was translated or pitched to the influencers involved with Tenant Media was not that it was a Russian government-funded outlet, but a Russian private investor, angel investor, that kind of thing.
Let me read this. Over at least the past year, RT and its employees, including these two names I'm not even going to try to pronounce, Kostya and Lena, the defendants have deployed nearly $10 million laundered through a network of foreign shell companies or entities to covertly fund and direct U.S. Company One. U.S. Company One publishes English language videos on multiple social media channels, including TikTok, Instagram, X, and YouTube. Using multiple fake personas, they edited, posted, and directed the posting by Tenant of hundreds of videos. Many of the videos published by U.S. Company One contain commentary on events and issues in the United States, such as immigration, inflation, and other topics related to domestic and foreign policy. While the views expressed in the videos are not uniform, the subject matter and content of the videos are often consistent with the government of Russia's interest in amplifying the U.S. domestic divisions in order to weaken U.S. opposition to core government of Russia interests, such as its ongoing war in Ukraine. Since publicly launching in about November 2023, they've posted nearly 2,000 videos. Garnered more than 60 million views on YouTube. They've never disclosed to its viewers that it was funded and directed by RT, nor did its two founders and principal executives register with the Attorney General. And based on everything I've seen so far, they didn't disclose to the commentators like the Tim Pool, Benny Johnson, Dave Rubin that they were funded by Russian entities either.
And I think it's very reasonable to draw the conclusion that none of these commentators realized that there was this foreign influence here.
Did you hear what he said? It's fair to say that none of these commentators realized that there was foreign influencers here. These guys had a huge following on YouTube, not just Tim Pool and Benny Johnson and the others. All of them collectively together, two of them together had nearly 5 million. They didn't do their research. The money that they were making a week, not a month, not a year, an episode, a show, we're talking enormous amounts of money that they were receiving. And they never looked into it any further than that. They just passed on the content. See, that's another thing, right? That should be a red flag, that it didn't matter what they were receiving. They were just handed a script and a check and said, feed it to the American people.
And as evidence for that is the elaborate disguise they came up with and story about the different personas and the Eduardo Gregorian investor, and they made the fake profile page for him. So if the commentators knew that there was this foreign entity that was fake and putting foreign money into the company, you wouldn't need to come up with this elaborate fake person. And actually, they ended up coming up with like 4 or 5 fake people. So you wouldn't need all that if everybody was aware of where the money was coming from. So therefore, it's reasonable to conclude that they were not aware, just the founders knew.
And so here, in or about December 2022, founder 1, Lauren Chen, or her husband, began working with an individual operating under the fictitious name Edward Gregorian, and the 3 purported representatives of his whatever, to launch a new YouTube channel, initially under the name Viewpoint Productions. On January 10, 2023, Persona 2 told Founder 1 that Founder 1's first task was to find a personality that could serve as the face of the channel, and that for the right candidate, we're willing to pay around $1 to $2 million per year. On or about January 13, 2023, Persona 2 sent Founder 1 a proposed contract for Founder 1's influencer talent scouting services. So essentially, they got paid $8,000 a month to go out and find these commentators. And then once they booked the commentators, that fee went up to $25,000 a month. And the thing that
plus percentage of the contracts that they secured with the talent.
Yep. And
so like one talent contract is $1 million. They got a percentage of that $1 million contract plus the $25,000.
Which is insane. Which is insane.
Yeah. Now, were these videos appearing on Tenet YouTube, or is one of the accusations that they were the subjects of videos on these influencers' own channels were coming from this as well?
No, well, they were. So it was all on this Tenet YouTube, which I'll show you here. Tenet Media. You can see like Culture War. He had Tim Pool had one show a week there. He made $100,000 a week for this one show broadcasted to Tenet Media.
They got
$100,000 a week. Look at that. the culture war. He did one show a week on the YouTube channel Tenet and made $100,000.
27,000 views.
This is 97,000.
97,000.
Oh, it says 97. Sorry. My screen is my screen for you guys is a little small right now.
Full disclosure, guys, we do not make $100,000 per power hour, even though we
That's a lot of money, man. That's one show. I don't know how long Ding Dong Show is there, Beanie Baby. That's a lot of money. I can't imagine that kind of. I can't imagine being me doing a show and making, 100 grand. One show for a week because I promoted some propaganda. Somebody gave me an ad, or they gave whatever the hell it was they gave him. They just, and the blame game is just going to continue to go. The commentators will say they didn't and they have, or they didn't know, or they weren't aware of, or whatever that is. Plausible deniability, right? And then it'll get dug into a little deeper, and you'll find out that there's a little bit more in the inner workings within are the podcasts being exposed? We're going through an exposure phase with some of these big time podcasters, man. I mean, it's possible. It's very much. And then see, once they take them guys with it, you'll be stuck with me. Because they ain't coming after me. I just sharing everybody's content. I try to make a little bit here and there, content wise. But I'm not as good as some of them, right? So in the end, if you follow Badlands Media, if you watch Devolution Power Hour on Wednesday, it starts at 10:30. You can re-watch the show now at your convenience on Rumble and all their other platforms. I think that they're in or on, and they go. I think it starts at the 20-minute mark, and they probably stop at the 1 hour and 5-minute mark. So they go through quite a bit of this indictment, and they give their points of views, and they show you the factuals, and they show you the hypotheticals, or they talk about it at least. There's a lot of hypotheticals in that indictment too. All that stuff has to be, I would imagine, at some point proven. Although when you use lawfare, you don't have to have proof. You just have to have hearsay, and that's enough for some local judge or federal judge or whatever to just buy into the bullshit. So, and then run with it. Everybody's getting paid. They all got their hands out, So, let's see. Got one more.
They're not making. They are.
All right. Burning bright.
That because of the greed of some influencers that paint themselves and brand themselves as MAGA, the other side gets the best possible narrative they could possibly have at this current stage of the election cycle, purely based on zeros on a paycheck that they didn't care to check into the origins of, as long as they're making that sweet, sweet money.
Yeah. Well,
So, that's messed up. I muted myself. Anyway. They didn't care. the money was more important. They were never censored. They were never shut down. They were never stopped. They were allowed to carry on. They made hundreds of thousands of dollars a week, if not more. And they helped dilute all the stuff that was going on in 2020 when it came to COVID, when it came to election fraud and the rigging of it, when it came to that guy Floyd, when it came to all these other things. And then look at me, I got this little podcast, 60 followers, and I believe 20 of them are bots. It would leave 40, and I know those are real because half of the 40 I know personally, and so I'm just playing a numbers game here, And I've been stopped, hammered, censored, whatever. First on Facebook, especially through 2019, 20, and all that, you couldn't post anything that said anything about election fraud or it's been rigged, it's not real, this, that, and the other. You go timeout 3 days, 7 days, 30 days. It just got worse and worse and worse, There was no more communication, that kind of thing. Or what I mean is, it just, you couldn't share, you couldn't talk, you couldn't reply, you couldn't, eventually you couldn't like. It's just garbage, So then you get these Con Inc. simps here, these DeSantis sucks. There's nothing MAGA about them. And they got sucked right in by some Russia propaganda bullshit. And while they may have not committed any crimes, they just were, I don't know if it's dumb enough or smart enough to take the money, right? I'm not sure. I think I would have looked into it just a tad bit more than what they did, Anyway, that's that. That's Badlands Media. It's Devolution Power Hour. Them guys go through great lengths of destroying that indictment. It's more about a story. It's more about money laundering. It's more about exposing the DeSimps, the Con Inc. So for that, I'm happy. Never listened to Tim or any of them guys, so. All right. I did a show this morning, or this afternoon, on sports, or at least UT. And I don't know. Maybe it'll be okay. Maybe it won't. I don't know. But works out well. I'll just keep doing it, So I was gonna see if there wasn't something here on Twitter or X. Hang on, I did it again. I gotta make sure that my audio's off and it's not, so when this video plays, it'll be alright. Should be funny.
industry, film and TV industry. Do you realize the magnitude? We're talking like, okay, here's Hollywood, here's government, including ours. And here's all of Hollywood and all the biggest musicians you grew up going, I love them. And all of a sudden just gone. Because if I find a name, which names are true, and I'm going to tell you right now, there's some names on there that when I say broke my heart, it breaks my heart. They're huge actors, huge musicians, huge. And the thing is, it's out there. The list is out there. I've seen it multiple times. And like I said, it started 2 years ago. It's up to you to go look for it. And so many of you are not ready. If it was true, which is a little weird that the whole, it's a human trafficking trial. It's not. So let's talk about abortion. Let's talk about gun laws. Let's talk about Ukraine. No. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Why aren't we talking about that? I'll tell you why. It has the potential to collapse governments, music industry, film and TV industry. Do you realize the magnitude? We're talking like, okay, here's Hollywood, here's government, including ours. And here's all of Hollywood and all the biggest musicians you grew up going, I love them. And all of a sudden just gone. Because if I find a name, which I have to say, there are certain names, and I don't know if they're true. Nobody knows they're true until they officially come out and go, yeah, it's true. It's on the internet, some guy reading the names, reading them. He read them. But here's what's interesting. Nobody that has been put out there has claimed, hey, man, this stuff is all BS. Stop including me. I haven't seen it.
That's Jim. He's pretty funny. Oh, Jim, that's pretty funny right there. The old TikTok thing. So I was kind of hoping to find some new Dilly Meme Team stuff. Sean Ryan, that guy's done a lot here lately, ain't he? Or he's probably done a bunch, hasn't he? Oh, Sean Ryan. Oh, man, oh, man. Don't look like it's going to be that way. Dead air. Shouldn't be any dead air, right? Here I am trying to find. This is way too long. I tell you what. Last thing, and then we'll go, but this dude's funny too. 5 minutes, 55 seconds. It's funny as all get out.
You're drunk right now.
And that's not going to change.
You kind of have a drinking problem.
I recognize the problem.
Well, fair enough. Okay, we're live. Kamala Harris, welcome. And I see you brought your emotional support dog with you today, which is great. Before I came in, your campaign staff out there gave me this list of really great softball questions that I'm allowed to ask. Help stay true to the spirit of journalism, so thanks for that. Thought I might stray from the list just a tiny little bit. Now, I think you'd agree this is an intense election. Like recently, your political opponent, President Trump, was almost assassinated. And I am sure y'all at the White House are working tirelessly to find out who orchestrated this whole thing. Y'all have any leads about who did it?
We did it.
What? Who did?
Joe Biden and I, to be honest.
Really? He was shot.
I'll say that that's good work.
Oh, that's... wow, I can't believe it. Do you feel any remorse?
No, not at all.
Oh.
There's more to do, but that's good work.
Wait, so you would try it again?
Yes, I would.
Seriously?
I would. I think...
Well, obviously, the guy you used on the first try wasn't successful. So who would you use on the next attempt?
No one in particular.
But I'm sure you've discussed who it might be. Did you talk to Hillary? Did she have anything to say about it?
Oh, she had a lot to talk about. She had a lot.
Of course she did. When did you talk to her?
It was a Sunday.
Good God, that's even more demonic. Tim, are you on board with all this?
I think people know who I am.
Yeah, they do. You guys could go to prison for this.
Next question, please.
Yeah.
No, seriously, this is a major crime. This is a big deal. One more question on this, please. All right, your resting bitch face tells me you really want to move on, so we shall. Let's talk about moving forward. You make a lot of great promises about what you'll do if you get into office. But you've been in office for almost 4 years, and most things have objectively gotten much worse. The border, crime, inflation, it's pretty bad. How could you let this happen?
In large part, all of that because of mismanagement.
Yeah, I guess that would be it.
That is the reality of it, and 4 years of being vice president.
But I'd like to imagine how you will do things has no correlation to how you've always done things. So if you do win this definitely not rigged election, what would you do specifically to fix all the problems in our country?
Let me be very clear.
Mm-hmm.
When we do what we have done, I believe it is very important that we take seriously what we must do and how it does so matters. And to do that, we can do what we have accomplished thus far. But I will say this. So I'm very clear about where I stand. My values have not changed. I kept my word and I will keep my word. When we do what we did, which is part of the American dream.
It sounds like a very well thought out strategy. If you win, will that be like a bill you sign or something?
I will make sure that it comes to my desk and I would sign it.
Very good. Now that we clearly understand how exactly you'll turn the country around. Tim, I forgot you were alive over there, buddy. As governor, the accomplishment you're most known for is getting tampons into all the boys' restrooms in schools.
We did it in Minnesota.
You sure did. And you did it when nobody else wanted to. People were saying things like, it's unnecessary or it's a stupid idea. But you knew the importance of it. And presumably, this came from your positive exposure to tampons during your formative years as a boy. What did it mean to you when you put your first tampon in?
It was just such a visceral, emotional moment that I'm grateful I got to experience it.
I think history is going to show that in so many ways it was transformative.
Yes, I think we're all touched by Tim's bravery around tampons. But now let's close with some rapid fire questions. Kamala, who's the biggest dipshit you've ever known?
Well, my first thought was not about me, to be honest with you.
Yeah, well, no, I meant the biggest dipshit you've ever known, aside from yourself.
I have served with President Biden for almost 4 years now.
Right. Now, you've known the Obamas for a while now. Did Michael confide in you when he wanted to transition to being a Michelle?
And the phone rang, and he told me what he had decided to do. And I asked him, "Are you sure?"
What'd he say?
And he said, "Yes."
Fantastic. Now, Madam Vice President, on the monitor, you can see you in the process of sleeping your way to the top by way of a photograph of you with Montel Williams and another side girl. Have you seen this photograph before?
But I did see that photograph, and I was deeply touched by it.
The left criticizes Trump for sleeping with side girls, but you are a side girl running for the same presidency. How does that feel?
It's very humbling. It's very humbling in many ways.
Do you have any morals?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Fair enough. Kamala and Tim, you both come across so well on camera. Fantastic, actually. Thank you for taking the time to sit down and just be so interesting.
Thank you, Dana. Thank you.
What? Tim Waltz is thanking me? What an honor. You know what, Tim? You're welcome. And thank you for all your service overseas.
That's Lies with JP. If you've never seen him, he's on X or Twitter or whatever. He's funny. He's on Rumble too. He does some really good skits. That's probably why he's got such a following, because he just does some short, funny stuff, straight and to the point, and he edits things so well, you know. So it's kind of different. Maybe I'll get to something like that sometime or in the future. I don't know. I really like sharing the content that I do. I know the show's not for everybody, and it's probably a little boring for some people, and the background and this, that, and the other, and you know, all I can tell you is I started out with a itty bitty tripod and a cell phone and a dining room table, and so another 3 weeks, maybe a month, because once I get in, I have to decorate it. Then I have that little room / studio, and maybe it'll be more lurish, like, you know, where it catches the fish, where they might want to see what this redneck dude from East Tennessee is talking about, right? And the content that he's sharing, and then, you know, maybe it inspires me to create a little bit of content. I know what it will do is in the future I will have, I don't know, a few things going on at the same time. Like I said, did the sports show today. I was supposed to do it last night, but technical difficulties and new phones and just a story. In the end, it was just easier to put it together and do it this afternoon. And I don't know how well I'll do at it, but I have fun doing it, and that's what I mean. So if we can do a little bit of humor, a little bit of sports, a little bit of politics, and a little bit of Jesus, it'll be a well-rounded channel, right? Resolute exposure. That's the goal. It's a hobby. Maybe one day it pays $100,000 an episode because of the propaganda that I'm pushing around. Would be nice if the right wing would give me that kind of money to push propaganda against the left wing. Or the left wing give me money so that I can push it against the right wing while I'm secretly right wing. I can identify as well. But all right, with that being said, guys, you all have a good evening. Remember, there's people on the porch. They got the Pilgrimage Fest coming up in the end of September. It's out there towards Nashville. If you like their music, you can find them on all these platforms, and they have merch, CDs, all that good stuff. Obviously hats, shirts, and maybe we can get out there and see them at the end of September and do a little recording on their show and that kind of thing, just so that they don't get lost in the loop. Maybe we can get Danny Elson back on, and maybe some other band members, not just Danny. There's more than just Danny. There's Jeremy, and then there's Danny and Jeremy, and there's Dave, and there's more. Some are shy, some are not, but it's hard to be. How can you be shy and play music in front of a bunch of people? Probably can't. So, but anyway, look into that indictment by the Department of Justice right around election time. How convenient. Russia 2.0. You'll find out that it really has little to nothing to do with election interference. It has more to do with money laundering, and really it has more to do with the story of the cast of characters that were involved in cashing the checks, who obviously will have plausible deniability, and so And they'll continue to be on their shows. I don't know if they did it or they didn't do it knowingly, but it would be cool to be able to say so and not get sued for it. Because my little $1,200 production here would be toast. So all I know is they're not MAGA, and they were brought up. They probably as much left as the rest of the left, honestly. They like playing with DeSantis. So, yeah. They're not MAGA. They are not MAGA. So, that's all I got for tonight. Tuesday we did all the immigration stuff, illegal immigrants. They're taking over. Then on Wednesday they pop out with this right around election time because they got nothing else. They're going to try everything. Everything. If you can imagine it, they could probably try. Remember the Jedi mind trick? Yeah. Harris Walls. Harris Walls? Stupid. All right, guys. With that being said, you all have a good evening, and I will see you or talk at you Tuesday. Good evening. Oh, don't let this stuff get so wrapped up that you lose focus on your family. I have to end this. I always have to end this something sort of positive, right? We had something funny, so let's have something a little inspirational. Hug your family. You got a wife, hug her. Tell her you love her. If you got children, hug them. Tell them you love them. You got parents alive, hug them. Tell them you love them. Grandkids, if you got grandkids, make sure that they understand the Constitution as it is in the Bill of Rights. More importantly, the Bill of Rights. And don't forget, there's someone up above. You all have a good evening. Enjoy the music.
My heart, pumping all day long. Get me the morning when darkness comes. My heart, ooh. I'm gonna pick my bones up and walk through the storm I made. I'm gonna head on home before it gets too late. I turn it upside down and be thankful for what he gave. I'm gonna pick my bones up and walk through the storm I made. I'm gonna hold on tight to you when it gets rough. I'm gonna lay down all my cards and call your bluff. Because the one thing in this moonlit room I trust is the beauty of a smile and the warmth inside your touch. Oh, there's nothing like a love, nothing like a love of a woman. The way she holds you tight, way she holds you tight when you need it most. It gives you just that little bit, just to keep on living. And that's when you find out what you're made of. I'm gonna pick my bones up and walk through the storm I made. I'm gonna head on home before it gets too late. I turn it upside down and be thankful for what he gave. I'm gonna pick my bones up and walk through the storm I made. I'm gonna hold on tight to you when it gets rough. Yeah. I'm gonna lay down all my cards and call your bluff. Because the one thing in this moonlit room I trust is the beauty of your smile and the warmth inside your touch. Oh, there's nothing like love, nothing like love of a woman. The way she holds you tight, way she holds you tight when you need it most. It gives you just that little bit, just to keep on living. And that's when you find out what you're made of. That's when you find out. That's when you find out what you're made of. My heart is like a lighthouse, just trying to get you home. Your soul is like an anchor, just dragging you along. Pay no mind to what I'm saying. I've been drinking all day long. I just wanna hold you while we dance to this song. We were younger when we first laid eyes. I was walking up in heaven's skies. How about you? Did you feel it too? I don't believe in love at first sight. Now you make me wanna change my mind. How about you? Oh, how about you? My heart is like a lighthouse, just trying to get you home. Your soul is like an anchor, just dragging you along. Pay no mind to what I say. I've been drinking all day long. I just wanna hold you while we dance to this song. Trying to get you home. Your soul is like an anchor, just dragging you along. Pay no mind to what I say. I've been dreaming.